this Friday. Getting ready for the second round coming up at 1:35 today. We'll have the LSU players on the dais, followed by interim head coach Tony Benford. A few notes from yesterday's action. Total Thursday attendance over two sessions, 25,924, 25924 yesterday for the four games. The first three games, each winning team scored 79 points. A bit of an oddity there. We all know about Fletcher McGee setting a new NCAA D1 mark for career three-pointers, now at 509. Saturday coming up, it's the first ever meeting between Kentucky and Wofford. The schools have never met on the court. And LSU and Maryland meeting for the first time since 1989. A few notes for this Saturday's action coming up tomorrow. Again, a few minutes away from LSU players, 1:35. That's about 7 minutes from right now at the dais. Thank you. All right, we've got LSU players with us today, and we're ready for questions. A few reminders here: no video on cell phones. Photos are fine. If you have a question, raise your hand. If you have a follow-up, let's make sure that you have a mic as well so we can get that on the record also. So if you have a question, the LSU players, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you to get us started on this Friday. Anybody? Mark, you want to start us off? Mark Long in the middle, please.
For Trey, just going back, did you guys take a lot of satisfaction? People thought you guys were falling apart without, with the coaching situation. Did you take a lot of satisfaction in the way you guys performed and, basically leading wire to wire in that game?
I feel like our team is definitely gelling with everything that's going on. I feel like we're getting a lot closer together, and we're just going to take it one day at a time, just like we've been doing. And that game's behind us now. We got to move forward to Maryland and just know that we got to take it one game at a time, one play at a time, and just do what we've been doing.
Here in the second row, please.
Gary Smith from the Florida Times-Union. Either of you fellows want to handle this, but until you actually play somebody else from the SEC, did you take note of the fact the SEC went 4-0 yesterday? Florida was a 10 seed and won. So, are you rooting for the other teams if you're not playing them in the conference?
I think we as players who went through conference understand how tough the conference is, and I think it's good to see all these other teams do well and survive and advance, and I think it just shows how tough the SEC is. So, we want the best for the league.
On the aisle, yes, sir.
Skylar, right here on the aisle here. Maybe you could address how has the transition coaching-wise worked in games? Are you hearing different voices? Do all the assistants have a ton of input? And logistically, just how is it work and how is it different?
I don't think it's definitely different. Just hearing a different voice as the head guy, but I think Coach Wade gave all the assistant coaches somewhat of freedom throughout the year, so it's not foreign for us to hear Coach Heyer or Coach Armstrong outside of Coach Benford. So, I think these guys do a great job of listening to everybody and taking the big takeaway and applying it on the court.
Question, raise your hand. Mark, here in the middle, please. And then we'll get to you next, sir.
Yeah, Mark Long with AP for Cavell. Maryland's got a couple of big guys, almost two of them twin guys. How difficult do they look on tape to match up with?
It's going to be a pretty good matchup. Obviously, they're great players. And like I said, we're looking forward to the matchup. I know they're physical, big, long, athletic, so it's going to be a good matchup. But I feel like me and Nas, we're going to be prepared for them.
Third row on the left, yes, sir.
Hey, Glenn Gilbo, USA Today Network, Louisiana. Tremont, when Will was coaching, he seemed to signal a lot of plays during the game and communicate with you a lot. And just from watching the last couple of games, doesn't seem like anybody is doing that from the coaches. So are you doing a lot of the offense kind of on your own, what y'all have done all year, and you're basically calling it?
Yes. Well, obviously in the huddles, Coach Benford and the coaching staff are giving us plays to run, and just basically on the fly, either I'll call a play or Skylar will call a set just based off what we see, and it's just a read that we make pretty much throughout the game, and if things break down, Coach Benford calls a play. So
let's go here.
Yeah, it's as long as we keep winning, it's definitely working.
Here in the second row on the right, we'll get to you next, sir.
Cavell, who did you think was the biggest, most physical SEC team that you guys go against this year? And is it going to be a similar experience to playing Maryland?
I think teams like Alabama, Florida, they're pretty physical. Mississippi State, they got a lot of big guys down there. So there's a variety of teams that are pretty physical, but those three were probably the ones that stood out the most to me.
On the far left, right behind you.
How you doing? This is for Trey. I'm on Lot, FAMU TV 20 News. Trey, you had 7 assists yesterday. You did a good job being a floor general. How important for you is it to lead the team and not turn the ball over?
Well, as a point guard, I feel like that's my job, and when we first started the season, Coach Wade pretty much said that the ball is like the state of Louisiana, and if I turn the ball over, then that's not good for the state and obviously for our basketball program as a whole. And that just goes to show that like we have to take care of the ball, obviously, if we want to win. So that's just my job. I believe I live up to it, and I'm going to continue to do that for my team because they deserve it and we deserve it.
Other questions here in the middle? Yes.
Back to Trey. You were talking about how you've taken over a little bit of the play calling, but is it new that after a timeout that you break the huddle and then have your own little huddle with the team? Is that something new, or is that something you've done all year?
No, we pretty much done that all year. We pretty much go out after we hear the play calls and the defensive schemes and everything, and based off what coach is saying, we go out and just say it again, so that we just keep it fresh in our minds and so we know what we're doing when the plays start.
Got a few minutes left with these guys. Any other questions? Here on the right side.
For any of you guys, especially you guys shoot a lot of three, I know you're not playing Wofford, but have you guys seen Fletcher McGee shoot? And I'm wondering if you are a little bit envious of the freedom he has to shoot threes all day long.
Wofford was actually the first team I played in my college career, so I'm very familiar with Fletcher McGee, and he's having an unbelievable season and accomplishing great things. And I watched them yesterday. They beat Seton Hall, so he's a terrific player.
Third row on the left.
Skylar, have there been points in games like this last game where y'all's lead went down a little bit, and then Florida where you lost the lead, where you were thinking, I wonder what Coach Wade would do at this moment or what he would do at that time?
I think, all the way throughout the game, I try to think what would Coach Wade do, not just when things get a little hectic, but there's not really a game that I can remember where we had a big lead and, it got back close, and we were able to pull it out. I think the Florida game we had a good lead and it got away from us, but that's something that we definitely have to do a better job. The great thing about us is that we're able to, get a big lead in the beginning, and now we just have to work on sustaining it.
In the back in the middle, yes, sir.
Cavell, the matchup with the front court's gonna bring him a lot of attention. What have you seen out of the two bigs, and then how important is it for you guys to get quality minutes out of Emmett and Darius in a matchup like this?
It's important because they're physical bigs, well skilled. I think both of them can post up and make plays inside the post and also on the perimeter. So having the other guys coming in to bring minutes is going to help us a lot.
Final couple of minutes. Any other questions? We'll go here again. Yes.
Tremont, you had a great first half, and then kind of in the second half, it kind of tailed off a little bit. What changed, and how do you, put together a full 40-minute quality game?
Well, yeah, obviously going into the game, we had a great game plan, and as the game went on, we kind of slowed down in transition, and I feel like that was our biggest letdown. And for me, I wasn't pushing the ball as much as I should have in the second half, and I feel like just shots weren't falling, so that was it.
Any final questions? All right, guys, thanks a lot. Good luck to you. Coach Binford will be here at 1:55. 1:55, so 9 minutes from right now. Thank you.
injuries from last night? Yeah. How about the kid next to you? Did his computer go flying or something? He did break it by no. Yeah, you look like it.
was said yesterday. All right, Coach Benford with us now from Louisiana State University. We'll get straight to questions. So if you have a question, raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. We'll start here on the third row on the aisle, please.
Gary Smith from the Florida Times Union. Coach, the SEC went 4-0 yesterday. 4 years ago, they only got 3 teams in the tournament. Last year, 8. This year, 7. Yesterday's game's 4-0. What would you say the state of this conference in basketball is right now?
Well, it's a tremendous league. I mean, I think that's a testament to it right there. We're going 4-0, but I've been coaching a long time and been in some great leagues. I was in the last in the Big East when they sent 11 teams to the tournament that one year where UConn won it, and this league I thought our league is comparable to any league in the country, and similar to that league back in the day, where every night you have to come out and play great basketball. You have I contributed to great coaches, got great players, and you got great environments. Every gym, every arena you go to, you're going to play in front of a sellout house. So I think it's just a tribute to the great players and coaches and the great fans in the SEC.
On the left side, in the back, yes.
Coach Benford just got out of the locker room, and Skylar pointed out it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but when Emmett dove into the media row in the front row, he just gave his entire body, didn't care. Now, they didn't get the ball, but it almost said it kind of fired up the team. Skylar said, what are you seeing from Emmett and also the team that they'll give everything, break a body bone, whatever it takes to get a ball for LSU?
Yeah, Emmett's kind of Emmett brings a toughness to us, and he's got you talk to him, he never shuts up. No, but he's got a great personality, and that's his game. That's his role on his team. He's going to do all the intangibles, and he's going to get all the 50-50 balls. He's going to take charges, and he can finish at the rim, and he's just a great teammate for these guys, and he's great to coach. I mean, I love coaching him, and he's always got a smile on his face, and we're very fortunate to have him. And he needs to play well tomorrow because he's going to get some grown men tomorrow.
On the aisle on the left, we'll get to you next, Mark.
Barry Sverluga from the Washington Post. Tony, you've been in this game most of your life. You're sitting in the chair you are now because your boss was accused of paying a player, potentially. Do you believe that college basketball players should be paid?
That's a good question. I mean, I think, the NCAA's changed the rules and made a lot of changes to try to help them, for it to give them different stipends and different things, to try to help the athletes because some of them come from tough environments, So, I'm kind of on the fence on that, I'm not leaning one way or the other, but I want to make sure we take care of the athletes. I think you have to make sure that they have everything they need to, to be successful, and I think, we're trying to do that through the different stipends that they're getting right now.
On the right side here.
Tony Marklong with AP. The team had its doubters coming into the tournament. Did you sense that motivated your players, and did you feed into that at all to keep them motivated?
Well, the thing I really appreciate these guys is, we can control what we control, and that's just getting better every day with our preparation, with our focus. And I think there's no doubt they had an edge to them because, obviously they know the noise is out there, but I've tried to, you got to keep blinders on and have tunnel vision and focus on the task at hand, and that's to prepare like we were preparing for Yale, but now it's the task to prepare for Maryland, a very quality Maryland team. So that's what we try to do, just kind of stay in the moment right now.
Let's go on the far back left, and we'll come back up front.
Wayne Viner with Terp Talk. What particular challenges does Maryland pose for you tomorrow?
Well, first of all, I think Mark's is a great coach. He does a tremendous job. When you look at their numbers, especially on the defensive side, they do a great job. They're one of the top teams as far as scoring defense and field goal percentage defense, and one of the best rebounding teams in the country. And you look at Bruno. I think he scares you once you look at him. Man, he's really good, a good player. And then Smith is playing really well, and then Anthony got a great quality point guard. But it's going to come down, guys. I think it's very simple. It's going to be who wins the paint and who wins the rebounding battle. I think it's going to be that simple. They're really strong in the paint, and we're pretty strong in the paint, and we're good on the glass, and they're good on the glass. So I think the point guard play is going to be huge. Draymond and Anthony, that's a great matchup. And so I think it's going to come down to that, paint and rebound, who plays the best at the point guard position.
Here on the second row, please.
Hey, Coach. Glenn Guilbeau, USA Today, Louisiana. I know you've said a few times that all the assistant coaches and you are helping a lot. Which coach would you say is, during the game, working most with the offense and with Tremont?
Well, I pretty much do most of the offense. Okay, Coach Hire does really concentrate on the defensive end. And then Coach Armstrong, he'll handle our substitution and depends on the game. Like tomorrow's game is Maryland, and it's Coach Armstrong's scout, so he'll do a lot of the defensive stuff for them, and then handle the substitution too. And then Coach Hire will help him with that. So we kind of do it by committee. And we kind of did that. One thing with Coach Wade, he delegated that too, even when he was here. We split our scouting reports, for our different opponents. And whoever had that scout, had a lot of input on the game plan, on what way to run offensively and what we do defensively.
But Tremont is doing more himself, right, than when Coach Wade was here, would you say?
Yeah, I would say probably a little bit more, because Tremont, we trust Tremont because he knows, and not only Tremont, but Skylar too. With those guys as far as they have a feel sometime on what to run. Like I may make a call, Trey, run this, and then if he sees something else, he can change the call. I have no problem with that because we trust him, with the ball.
Let's go left side of the aisle here. Yes.
Follow up to that. How does your prep change now that you have 3 coaches working on it instead of 4?
Well, that's a good question. We haven't changed a whole lot. Okay, one of the things we tell our players to narrow our focus. We've had to narrow our focus too. We got to really concentrate. But what we've done again is as far as our scouts, like Coach Hire had Yale, Coach Armstrong had he's got Maryland, and so he'll lock in on that. And then I myself, we all look at tape, regardless of who we play. The upcoming opponent, all the coaches we all evaluate tape. So I've looked at Maryland's about 4 or 5 games, and I have a pretty good feel for what they do offensively, defensively, and their different tendencies and stuff. So we're all kind of we're doing it by committee.
Let's go in the aisle first, and we'll go to you next, sir.
Trey had a great first half and then kind of tailed off in the second. How do you, bring out a full 40 minutes from him of quality basketball? And is that something you stress to him going into tomorrow night against a tough point guard like Cowan?
Yeah, good question, Billy. I think with Trey, I really thought he was focused. Not only Trey, but I thought all our guys were in the first half yesterday. And I think, we talked about it as a staff when we talked to Trey about it. I think going out in the second half, we just got to kind of stay aggressive. I thought he was a little bit passive in the second half. We want him to stay in that attack mode, and that's what he's got to do. Really, I thought he pushed the ball in transition. He was very aggressive in transition in the first half. In the second half, I didn't think he was as aggressive, and we wanted him to be more aggressive. And we may try to run some different plays for him to kind of get him going.
Let's go on the far right, and we'll go down here on the second row.
Andy Staples, Sports Illustrated. Picking on a couple questions ago, how did the division of labor change without Will? How much does each guy have to do more of to make up for it?
Yeah, well, I think the one thing is, one thing or with our staff, we've got a great relationship with our players, and we spend a lot of time with them. Okay, as far as that, spending time with them, and as far as the responsibilities of the scouting reports, like we say, and preparing for the next opponent, we're all doing that. One guy may have the opponent, and then we all are doing that. As far as you look at the going back to the game plan. As being a head coach, I'll try to prepare that game plan and get in more detail in exactly what we have to do. I try to do that as a head coach.
Let's go to the second row in the middle, please.
Bria Wesley, FAMU News. Coach, I just want to know, how well do you think the team is adjusting to your system currently?
Well, it's not my system. I hadn't changed a whole lot. That's the one thing I learned when I became the intern. Keep it the same. Keep the same, because I'm not changing. There's no reason to change it. We won 16-2, winning the SEC. So there's no reason to come in here and say, hey, I'm gonna run my offense, stick my chest out. Hey, it's all about these players. And so I've kept everything the same. We have the same playbook. Everything is the same as far as what we're doing, and as far as sets we're running offensively, what we're doing defensively. And again, like I said, Coach kind of delegated a lot of stuff to our guys, and so the other coaches are really helping in that preparation too.
Let's go here on the aisle, and then you next, sir.
Coach Mark Long with AP again. You talked about the paint matchup being key. Can you just give us a little bit more on Caval and Nas and what kind of players they are and whether they're ready for this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there's no doubt. I think Caval's our most experienced player, obviously, and he's had a great year. I mean, he's improved a lot. He stood out last year, transferred from Oregon, stood out. He's gotten bigger and stronger, and he's one of the best shot blockers in the country. And and he's gotten better offensively. And you saw last night he made a great play against Yale where he blocked a shot, he ran, and got a got a layup on the other end. And that's what he's got to bring, that energy, that rim protection. He's going to really have to bring it tomorrow and really defend his position and hold his ground, especially against Smith and Bruno. And then Nas has been great to coach, guys. I mean, he's, like I say, he's in great shape. He's smart, very smart player. He's got a great skill set, play inside, outside. He can rebound the basketball. So he's got to do a great job of defensively on Bruno or Smith, and then we got to have him score in the paint and also be able to make some jump shots for us tomorrow. Pretty much, but we like to corral that. I like him to shoot closer to the basket most of the time, so I talk a lot more. So we talked about that.
Let's go to Andy on the right, please.
How much harder would this be if you didn't have a point guard as mature and trustworthy as Tremont?
That's a really good question. It would be a lot difficult, because the thing with Tremont, guys, is as a coach, sometimes you can get in your players' way, and some coaches do that. I think when you have a guy, the better your players, the less sets you have to run offensively. You got to trust him. He can go make plays. You got to trust him. Sometimes he may throw the ball somewhere you didn't want it to go, but he's gonna be aggressive and he's gonna make the right decision the majority of the time. So he makes it a lot easier.
Got a few minutes left with the coach. Any other questions? Coach, thank you. Good luck. Oh, hold on. One more right here. I'm sorry. Yes.
For guys like Nas and Cavell, this matchup, how much is on the line for them to really show out on a huge stage against two talented front court guys like this?
Well, they played against some quality big guys in the SEC. P.J. Washington's pretty good. He's a pretty good player. Grant Williams and Schofield, those guys are good players. So it's important because if we don't win, we go home. So it's the most important game of the year for us, and they understand that. And it's no more tomorrows. So, hey, we got to play well tomorrow or we go home. But I think our guys will be ready to play, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Everybody good? Thanks, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Next up at 2:20, Maryland players. 2:20, and then the Maryland head coach at 2:40. 2:20, the next press conference. Thank you. right, Eric and Daryl are here from the Maryland Terrapins. If you'll join us in the press room, we'll get your questions. And we'll start with, if you raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. A reminder, please, if you have a follow-up question, please wait for the microphone, and we'll get that to you so we can get you on the record. And we'll get it started. I'll start here with just a review of yesterday, looking at how that game went down yesterday. What did you guys take away, and what can you do moving forward after practice today to get ready for this game tomorrow? What's the biggest takeaway from that game for you guys?
Just staying resilient throughout the game. It's a lot of ups and downs in March Madness. Teams goes on runs, and just knowing that sticking with the game plan and not giving up throughout the game.
Let's go here on the second row. We'll get to you next.
This is for Daryl. I'm on Lot, FAMU TV 20 News. You hit some big shots down the stretch. How was it important for that for the team and your confidence moving forward in the tournament?
It was big. It helped my confidence moving forward, but these guys also gave me confidence throughout the game. At the beginning of the game, I was missing some layups and stuff. Defensively, I was struggling against the kid on Belmont, but these guys kept me confident, and it helped me, and that's why I had success in the later parts of the game.
Let's go on the right side, and you next, sir.
Yeah, Mark Long with AP. For Daryl and Eric, can you just how your big men, your two guys, will match up against Nas and who is it? Nas and Cavell for them.
It's definitely going to be a battle, in the paint. I think our guys are ready for the challenge. I don't think maybe we faced a team with that kind of interior presence this year. It's gonna be fun, being able to see how well our big men match up against theirs, and the best shall prevail to the end.
Let's go here on the third row, please.
Don Marcus from the Baltimore Sun. Daryl, in terms of finding a comfort zone and finding your role this year, how hard is that to do when you don't necessarily have a designated position?
I really don't think it's that hard. At the end of the day, it's basketball. Something I've been playing my entire life. So whether I have to play point guard for a possession or if I have to play power forward or whatever I got to do to help the team win, that's kind of my role. My role is to be that guy who can play multiple positions, guard multiple positions, score and stuff like that, just to help the team win.
Follow up here, please.
Follow up. You had a meeting beginning of the year with the coach, I think after the first game, and you had a normal conversation with him later in the year about, as talking about turnovers. And since then, I think you've committed one turnover in like 4 games. And I don't know if the timing of it is exactly that. But what do those meetings with Coach do for you in terms of how you can sort of refocus and get an understanding of what is expected?
Coach kind of talked to me about being a leader. We got a young team. I'm a sophomore, but I'm one of the older guys on the court at most of the time. So rather than just leading with my voice, he wanted me to lead more by example. So I kind of focus in on protecting the ball, trying to defend as best as I can, and just stop trying to make like the home run play and stuff like that, and just have confidence in my guys. So I'm just trying to lead by example and just help the younger guys throughout like this process.
On the left side, please.
Lamar Johnson, Tessel Times. LSU is a team that wants to turn you over, get out in transition. You all have been doing better with turnovers recently, coming off a season low. How do you all keep that up and keep the ball in the half court?
Just continue to do what we're doing. Slow down, let the game come to us. We've improved in the double team, in the post. Our guards, we're getting older, we're getting more experience. We done seen pretty much every defense throughout the year. So just with this experience and just improving in the double team and stuff, that's where I feel like we found our success, and we got to continue that.
On the third row right here.
Eric, talk about Daryl and as he talked about his toughness And how does that translate to guys like Sticks, who sometimes can be passive, and just sort of giving the team more of an identity that way?
Of course, Sticks and Daryl have played together, throughout high school, and I'm pretty sure they look to each other, as far as like comfortability out there on the court, just being around each other and knowing that they got each other's back. But Daryl is somebody I look to, as far as being that tough guy out there. He carries that mentality on and off the court, and it spreads throughout the team. When we need it, it's brought. And it's a key thing for us.
Other questions? Raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We got a few minutes left. Everybody good? Oh, let's go here, and then we'll continue. Yes.
So Daryl, you and Bruno came in as a much smaller freshman class and are now the leaders. What did you guys learn that year, and how you guys help lead this younger group?
Last year, me and Bruno played a lot as freshmen, so we seen everything. We seen tough environments like in road games. We seen great teams. We played against a lot of great teams last year, and just through that, we just learned. We just learned, gained knowledge. So coming into this year, we was prepared for everything. We knew what to expect. We knew how to approach the off season and stuff like that. And just our approach rubbed off on the younger guys. And these guys came in hungry, every single one of them, and they've done well. And I just hope they continue their success.
Any final questions? All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Good luck to you. Appreciate it. Coach Turgeon scheduled for 2:40. We've got a little bit of time, about 12 minutes or so. Coach Turgeon at 2:40. Thank you. We're about 5 minutes away from Coach Turgeon, 5 minutes from the Maryland head coach. Thanks. All right, Coach Turgeon with us from the Maryland Terrapins. Congrats on the win. Getting to the round of 32. Coach, if you could give us some opening thoughts about the win and moving forward.
Yeah. Obviously, we're excited. We were excited yesterday. We were setting up on this stage to win a game and just to be a part of a game like that yesterday where the atmosphere is terrific, games back and forth, two really good teams that I thought played well, took care of the ball, executed at a high level, and that was terrific. And for my young team, 7 of our top 8 players being freshmen and sophomores, it was not only good to help us have confidence tomorrow, but as those kids grow older and hopefully be a part of more NCAA tournaments down the road. So with that said, got a heck of a challenge tomorrow, playing, I think, the most athletic team in the country. And, 1 through 8, they're really athletic. Their point guard's terrific. One of the best, if not the best, in the country because he can score and he can really pass it. So it's a tough challenge for us, but, one that we're looking forward to and happy to be a part of.
Let's get some questions. Raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We'll start here on the right. We'll go to the second row next.
Yeah, Coach Mark Long with AP. Tony Benford was in here earlier, and he said that he felt the matchup is in the paint. That's the key matchup. Do you look at that the same? And what do you see from LSU's big men?
Well, they're terrific. Got great length. Nas, we recruited him a little bit. Obviously, he's a great player and a great kid. Can score a lot of ways. He can also shoot the three. Shoots it well. I think he's talking about the way Bruno can score for us, sticks around the basket, and the way they can score around the basket, and the way both teams can rebound. I think that's really what he's talking about. But there's also some really good guards on the court tomorrow, too. So it's a high-level game. It's a high-level game with a lot of talent, and should be a fun game to coach in, a fun game to be a part of.
Second row, please.
Barry Sperluger from the Washington Post. Mark, you mentioned Sticks yesterday, I think, and kind of his confidence. You can almost see which way he's going to go early in a game. How have you tried to mitigate that and manage that? And do you think he can start piling up games in a row based on how confidently he played yesterday?
Well, you like to think, because if you don't, the season's over. So I think what happened yesterday is sometimes you're in the middle of the grind of the season, especially when you play in a league like the Big Ten that was so tough this year. You might hang your head a little bit. Well, you don't have time to hang your head in this tournament. And so if a play didn't go well, we were really encouraging guys to go on to the next play, and I think our guys did that yesterday. So I think Sticks did it. Got in foul trouble, bounced back, played through foul trouble, which was great to see. But he's a terrific player, and we need him to play well. He doesn't have to play great, but we need him to play well, and I was just really happy for him yesterday. He came through.
Back left corner, please.
Wayne Viner, Terp Talk. You talked in the press conferences back in College Park about how young your team was when they went to Purdue in some of those early games. You talk about how your relationship has grown with the freshmen and how your team has aged through the season, and are they where you expected them to be?
Yes. We've gotten a lot better. You throw that tape in right now, we don't even look the same. And neither does Purdue, obviously. But we've gotten a lot better. I think what's happened is Bruno, Daryl, and Anthony have really grown too as players. And then the young guys, in their own way, have come and gone a little bit, whether it's Eric Ayala, who's been terrific most of the time, Sticks, who's been really good a lot of the time, and Aaron Wiggins, who's been good a lot of the time too. So they've all grown. And then guys figured out kind of what their roles are and how they can help us. Like a guy like Ricky Lindo just goes in to defend and rebound. He knows that. If he can get an offensive rebound for a basket, that's big for us. So we've watched them grow. I think they're all comfortable. We never looked at them as freshmen. I just kept saying how young we were so people could appreciate what this team's doing, because sometimes you don't do that because you're so caught up in everything that's going on. But we don't think we're young anymore. There'll be a lot of young guys on the floor tomorrow for both teams, but none of them think that way. So they've grown, but our sophomore and our junior, they've grown quite a bit too.
Let's Let's go right here in the middle.
James Crabtree Hannigan, the Diamondback. Anthony yesterday said that he felt like it was a little bit of a weight off of his shoulders getting that win. Do you hope maybe if he, with that off of him, he can get some shots to start falling?
Yeah, you never know. But what I was proud of Anthony was he had 6 assists, 1 turnover, and he did a heck of a job guarding that kid. It was a heck of a tough matchup, coming off those ball screens all day and having to get over them. The good thing is that Anthony got a lot of wide open shots. That's the great thing for me as a coach. If he's shooting contested, late shot clock going down over a hand, we probably don't win that game. But he got a lot of good looks. But it's really good for us that Anthony was 3 for 18. We scored 79 points. You know, that's a good sign for us moving forward. I just hope for him he makes a few shots, but if he doesn't, we'll just have to try to overcome it again.
Questions for the coach right here in the aisle. Yes.
Thomas Konzortis, Student Times. Kind of going off that, for you and the team as a whole, do you feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders, getting that first win, getting on the board, ending the, bit of a drought, and now you can just go play?
Yeah, so we don't feel like we're in a drought because it's just this team. Everybody just wants to make it a drought about what we've done the last couple of years. So we don't think that way. Now, unfortunately, guys read social media, and it gets in their head a little bit. I don't, as you guys know, so it doesn't get in my head. But yesterday was huge for us. To get the deflection and get the steal, 1 possession game, goes the other way. We have to answer all those questions all next March. So now we don't have to answer them, okay? When you have 7 of your 8 freshmen and sophomores, I said early, it's going to help us moving forward for tomorrow. And it's going to help us down the road. That's what was huge about yesterday. And then for our young guys to plan a game like that, that was an incredible college basketball game in a great environment. And it moves quick out there. And for them to be a part of that and so like we lost to Michigan late in the year. And they just, late in the game, they were better than they were because they know what the reward is. Those players have been to a national championship game. They've had success. We don't know what the reward is. Now the guys are starting to, oh, wow, that was pretty cool. So that was a great reward. And so now next year when these young guys are back and we're fighting to get to the tournament or win a conference championship, they know what the reward is. We didn't know it. We didn't know it. So that's what was big about yesterday.
Let's go to the back right.
Hi, Mark. John Huang, NOLA Media. With all the improprieties that's going on in college basketball right now, I can imagine it can be very, very difficult to be a college basketball coach. Do you find, you've been doing this a while, do you find that there's more camaraderie now among the coaching fraternity? Have you spoken to Coach Benford at all about what's going on down there, given him any encouragement? What's your feeling on the mindset now?
We are a close-knit group, okay? Have I talked to Tony? No, I just bumped into him when he was leaving the building. But I've known Tony for a long time, so he's doing a terrific job under the circumstances. So we are a close-knit group, and that's really what's important. Like, it was such an honor for me yesterday to coach against Rick Byrd. I mean, you know how cool that was for me? And I've been doing it a long time. Guys won 800 games. That was a real honor for me yesterday. So we are close. We all talk. We encourage each other. We really know how hard it is. You know, like when I talk to Gary Williams during the season, that's a really good thing for me because he knows what it's like to be in my shoes. It's hard. It's a hard business. It's a great business. We love, but that's why we do it. And we love being in it. So we are a close-knit fraternity, if that answers your question.
On the right side, yes, sir.
Mark, you've had a couple of meetings with Daryl over the course of the season, one early in the year after the opener, and I guess he got benched for one game, and then more recently talking about turnovers. What has he done to sort of get to where he is right now, the last few games where he's not turning the ball over, scoring more, and still playing really good defense?
2 things happen. One is total buy-in. Okay, so if you don't totally buy in, and lucky for him, we were a young team, so he was able to keep his spot through a lot of those mistakes he was making. But he had total buy-in after the Penn State game. He threw it right to them the first 2 plays of the game. They get 6 points, live ball turnovers. Since then, I don't know what his assist turnover was yesterday. What was it? 14-1 now in the last 4 games. So that's total buy-in. And then after, I can't remember what game it was. I think it was leading into the Michigan game. So it's probably that same time I said, Daryl Morcell is going to guard the best player on the other team. He's our best defender. We need him to do that. We don't need Daryl to score a lot of points for us. No, he did yesterday. But he has to defend. So I told it in front of the whole team. Now, I thought he did a great job on that kid yesterday, and he had 35 or whatever. So I think that was a big moment for Daryl as far as growing up and maturing. And just total buy-in. Total buy-in is very important for young people. If they do that, they usually succeed.
Get a follow-up here. Let's get the mic to you.
One of the guys in LSU talking about your team said that Daryl's the X factor. Do you agree with that?
What's he? I mean, yeah, we'll give him that. Let's call him the X-Man, X factor.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, he does all the dirty little things, the dirty things. He is a big X factor for us. So is Eric Ayala. I think, does a lot of things for us and really steady. But, yeah, I think it's important. Basically what they're saying is he's not a superstar, but he really helps our team go. And, yeah, Daryl's been good. I'm really proud of him the last 4 games. It's total buy-in on his part.
Next row back, and we'll go over here next. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mark Long with AP. I think you mentioned yesterday that your team was feeding off of people around the country picking Belmont. Is that over? Can you still, beat that drum? Can you still use that as motivation going forward?
Well, they pick an LSU. I haven't been paying attention, so hopefully they are, and we'll use it. But this time of year, use any motivation you can. Obviously, players are highly motivated this time, but there's an edge you got to get certain ways. So as a coach, you love it when they pick the other team. A lot of guys pick the other team. That's good for us. But in the end, you got to win. We got to win the game, and you got to play well to win it. So we'll see. It's still early. I don't know what's being said out there. And the game's so early tomorrow. You might, you're just going to wake up and you're going to show up and you're going to play the game.
Let's go in the middle, and then we'll go to the very back.
Hey, Mark, I've heard that you are a rather superstitious person. How does that part of your personality affected by the different schedule and craziness of the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, it's crazy. I've gotten better, but my sons wanted to come to shoot around. I asked them if they came when we beat Hawaii 2 years ago and went to a Sweet 16, and they said they were there, so they're here again today. So a little superstition there, but it is what it is. I've gotten a little bit better with it as time goes on, but I've always been that way since I was a little 3 or 4 or 5-year-old kid watching my Chiefs or my Royals or my Jayhawks. I was really superstitious. I had to listen to it on the radio a certain way, type thing when I was growing up. So it is it's who I am, I guess.
Let's go to the very back and then right in front of you next.
How does your time as a big-time college point guard affect your relationship with your guards? What can you tell them about your experiences that translates to what they see tomorrow?
I try really hard not to talk about myself. One, I don't think I'm as good as the point guards that I'm coaching, but I just try to coach them. And when you have such a young team, it's really more about positivity. I mean, I've been more positive this year than I've ever been. I don't know if the players feel that way or not, but I've had to bite my lip a lot, let some things go. But I've just really tried with this group to be positive because I knew how hard our schedule was and how good the league was and how young we were. And so, but I like to think that we've done a good job with our point guards. I know Eric Ayala likes to hear my voice. It's very important to him. He wants to relay what I'm saying. I think Matt Brady's been really good for Anthony. I know Anthony hasn't shot the ball great, but Anthony's become a better basketball player. I think Matt Brady's been good for him. He's really helped him become a better player.
Got time for 2 more. We'll go back left.
Howie Casoy, New York Post. Mark, you mentioned speaking with Gary before, having been in your shoes. I guess, how often do you speak with him? What has your relationship been like since you've been there? Obviously, you've been there a long time now, and has it changed since you first got there?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. We've become much better friends. We probably hang out a little bit more in the summer than we do during the season. Gary's a hands-off guy. He doesn't He's never going to call me and give me his opinion. If we're going to talk, it's because I reach out to him. But he's been around a little bit. This year we had the 100 years of Maryland basketball, so he's been around a little bit more. So it's always great. I love when he's around. And early this year, he came to a couple practices, helped us with some things. We had a staff meeting at my house. He came, spent a few hours with us. It was really cool to see, and just to get him back around it. So, but I look forward to hanging out at the beach with him this summer. Should be a lot of fun.
Final question here on the right side. Sorry, let's do two more right here. Yep.
Hey, Coach. Jacques Doucet, WAP-TV in Baton Rouge. You kind of touched upon Coach Benford for a second, but can you just kind of imagine, I mean, it's not what he signed up for, right? To be pushed in the forefront like this at a time like this and the pressure of winning in the postseason. I mean, can you kind of put yourself in his shoes and what that's got to be like to go through?
Yeah, it's because I've been a head coach for 21 years, and every time you step out in an NCAA tournament game, it's a little bit, it's a lot. But he's handled it great. He's been a head coach before. He's been around a long time. He's been around a lot of great coaches. He's doing a terrific job. He's got a really, really good team. They really look like they're together and sticking together and playing well together. So I thought he did a great job yesterday. That was a tough game. Yale's really, really good. And I thought he did a great job preparing them. And I'm sure he'll do the same for tomorrow's game.
Last one here, Coach, on the right.
Mark, in terms of Anthony and taking the shots, I mean, last night it looked like he took good shots. They just weren't falling. You said similar things about Melo during his time, where if he has a tough shooting night, you thought the next one was going to go in. Yeah. Is there a difference now with the team you have, and especially this year's team, when you have such potentially dominant players inside, which you didn't necessarily have for most of Melo's time there with Anthony, and whether it's an open shot, do you still want him to take a look inside first?
Yeah, I think we play inside out. They were just doubling Bruno all night, so it made it tough. But Bruno still had a double-double, I believe, and we made the right reads. And the key thing is that Anthony took good shots. He had to rush a couple late, shot clock, but he missed 3 or 4 layups, missed five wide open threes. Those are great shots. I mean, for a heck of a player. So, for him personally, I just want him to make a few. Okay, but the great thing is it didn't affect his game yesterday. He was terrific. So, we share it. We went to Sticks. We went to Bruno. We tried to get Aaron Wiggins involved. We ran plays for Eric Ayala yesterday to get him going. So, we're sharing the wealth, but a lot of times the ball gravitates back to your best players late in the shot clock, and it does. But we overcame it, and it was a big relief for all of us. Yeah.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Yep.
We're about 9 minutes away from Kentucky players. 3:10 the scheduled time, 10 minutes after 3 o'clock. That's 9 minutes from right now. Kentucky players. Coach Calipari scheduled for 3:30. Thank you. I'll find out for you. We don't know yet. I'll be right back. Richards, Quickly, and Baker. Yes, sir. We've got no choice. That's what it's throwing at us. about 5 minutes away from Kentucky players at the dais. Thank you. All right, Nick Emanuel and Jamari from Kentucky with us now on the dais. Coach Calipari coming up in just a little bit. He's scheduled for 3:30. We'll get a microphone to you. Put your hand up. We'll get a mic to you if you want to start with questions for the Kentucky players. We'll be here for the next 10, 15 minutes or so. I'll start off then. First impressions of this Wofford team. Did you guys watch the game yesterday, and what do you think of the Terriers? Anybody, go ahead.
I mean, I didn't watch the game, but I know they can shoot the ball really well, and I just know we have to guard the three in order to win the game.
Anybody else? Any other thoughts on Wofford? First thoughts?
Yeah, I watched a little bit at the end of the game yesterday. From what we know, they're a really good three-point shooting team, so that's probably going to be the main focus of what we do.
Let's start off with questions from the right side over here.
Nick, Adam Zagoria, New York Times. How you doing, man? I got a nice, easy question for you. Coach Cal has obviously recruited New Jersey really well in recent years. You, Carl Towns, Isaiah. He's got Khalil Whitney coming next year. What does that say about the talent level in New Jersey, Nick? And have you given Khalil any kind of words of wisdom about coming to Kentucky?
I mean, I played with Khalil in high school. I played against him a couple times. He's pretty athletic, pretty aggressive dude. You know, New Jersey overall in basketball is kind of taken over from the tri-state area. You know, you could probably say the high school league and from the tri-state area is New Jersey basketball. That's where all the best teams are. That's where all the best athletes are.
Let's go on the.
Honestly, you know, I think just the overall recruiting that coach has done throughout the whole entire country, not just New Jersey, has been really great. He knows what he wants. He recruits good players. And he gets the players that he wants.
Let's go on the front left. Yes, sir.
Mon Lott, FAMU TV 20 News. This question is for Emmanuel. You were a five-star recruit. How different is this stage playing in a tournament? Is it more pressure for you? You know, how are you taking it?
No, I don't really see it as pressure. I played in some pretty big games throughout my whole life. McDonald's game was pretty big. State championships. I mean, NCAA tournament doesn't compare like a state championship, but you know, I've been prepared for this my whole life, and it's been a great part, or a great time being a part of this.
Other questions? Raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Let's go in the aisle in the middle, please. We'll get up to you next, Gene.
This could be for either one of you guys. When the bracket was released on Sunday and you saw that Wofford was a potential round of 32 matchup, what was your reaction when you saw it?
I didn't really have a reaction. It's our job to get out on the floor and play as hard as we can and win no matter who we're stepping against, and that's what you have to do to win a national championship. So the teams that we saw, that didn't really matter to me.
Let's go on the right side here, please.
Gene Fournette for the Florida Times Union here in Jacksonville. For any one of you who care to answer it, what limited film you may have watched so far on Wofford, just wanted to get your impressions of Fletcher Magee and whether you've seen a three-point shooter who seems to be so willing to contort his body to get tough shots on the smallest of openings and make them with really an uncommon regularity. What your thoughts are when you see him?
I think what makes him such a good shooter is he has a lot of confidence. He also has a really green light. So when you got that green light, you know, you're going to make some and you're going to miss some, and he lives with it. He's a really good player, and we just got to be ready for all that.
Questions? Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. In the very back, please.
Brian Milam, WKYT in Lexington. Early on in the year, the three-point defense was not one of your all's best things that you guys had. Was there a moment this year where the defense really started to click because Cal was really tough on you guys the first month or so?
I think throughout the year, we just had to focus on the little details of like getting through screens and things like that. And they emphasized defending a three the whole year. So they just told us in order to win games, you're going to have to really buckle down and be able to defend the three because there's a lot of teams that can shoot the three.
Other questions? Raise your hand. We'll get a microphone your way. We've got a few minutes left with the guys here. Here on the aisle, please. We'll come in your way.
John Huang, Nola Media. This is for Emmanuel and for Nick. You guys, ever since Jamal showed up on campus, we've been told that he's one of the greatest shooters in the history of mankind. Can you really describe to us how great he is?
Great question. Jamal's a great player. Not only is he a shooter, he locks up on defense. He's a really good teammate. He's my roommate, so he's even a better person. But, you know, what he does for our team is great, and he's going to continue to do great things for our team.
Any more questions? We have a little more time left. Any final questions? Right here on the third row, please. Coming your way.
Aaron Gershon, Nasia Blue. Nick, Wofford doesn't start anyone that's taller than 6'9". How big of an advantage is that for you, EJ and Reed?
That's a really good advantage for us. You know, they're not even as athletic as all three of us. They're bigs, they're really skilled around the basket. They know how to move on the floor. So, but we're just better than them overall, I think. So, it's all the advantages our way, in my opinion.
Any other questions? All right, guys, thanks a lot. Good luck to you. Appreciate it. Coach Calipari scheduled for 3:30, so about 10 minutes from right now, Coach Calipari will be right here. Thank you.
Sure. How far would you like it to? Cool.
All right, Coach Calipari with us. We'll start off with questions for the head coach. Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. We'll start here on the aisle. We'll go to you next.
Gary Smith, Florida Times Union. John, the SEC went 4-0 yesterday. Tennessee looks like it's going to win right now. The only loss right now is Ole Miss, and Mississippi State's playing tonight.
Did Ole Miss lose?
Yeah, they
what
did.
was the score?
Yeah, not real good. But the SEC has won 5 out of 6 games so far. So, could you comment on the state of the conference in this tournament so far?
Well, we had so many close games in our league, games that were down to the last 2 minutes. It just toughened every team up. And so, like, you're looking at a bunch of teams that have walked in and they're good. Our league is really good. We got 7 teams, probably should have had 8. When you see it, and I'm disappointed for Mississippi because they had a heck of a year. I mean, they literally had a heck of a year, and I don't know why that would have happened. I mean, terrific guards and athletes, and then Mississippi State's got to play tonight. Who do they play? Liberty. They're good too.
Let's go here on the right side, please.
John, Gene Fournette from the Florida Times Union. As you watch film on Wofford last night, not just about their three-point shooting overall as a team, but Fletcher Magee in particularly, could you talk a little bit about how he seems to not even be fazed about contorting his body to take shots that probably other players wouldn't be comfortable taking? And is there anybody that he reminds you of in any way?
Well, first of all, you got to give it to Coach Young, who says, you have the green light, now respect it, and I'm going to take some of these because I know you're going to make some. Then I heard that he is absolutely in the gym hours on end shooting those shots that you're talking about, that he's in that gym, which is why the coach says all the time you're in there and that's the shots you're taking, you deserve to be able to do it in a game. You know, you try to tell a young team like mine, this isn't football, it's not a touchdown, so don't foul. Make it hard. He's still going to make some of them. Make it difficult for 40 minutes. He's still going to make some of them. When I watched the tape last night, the tapes, and this morning, just a well-coached, offensively, they do what they need to do to win, and they play in a way that they have to play. Their dribble handoffs. I mean, Jackson, I watched the game early in the year, and then I watch him now, so much better. They said Nick was in there saying that our bigs are quicker than, what are you doing, Nick? I mean, but that's okay because, like, if you speak, now what? You back it up. So I love his confidence. Now I want to watch you do it. Now get out there and do it. If you think that. And I want Nick to be more confident, not like that, but on the court, more confident. So.
Let's get a mic, Gene. I'm sorry. Thank you.
The follow-up, does Fletcher Magee remind you of any other three-point type of shooter?
You know who I saw in him and how he played? I thought, and the closest I could get to him is how I used to play, which I used to just shoot every ball like that. And I thought, I saw myself doing those kind of things. And I know I was rated the 41st. There were 40 college coaches better than me I'll go one-on-one right now. Let's go. You got guys older than me. They said they were better than. Come on. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
Let's go front left here.
How you doing, Coach? Over here. Amon Lott, FAMU TV 20 News. Reed Travis had 18 points, 9 rebounds yesterday. We talked about Nick Richards as well. Came off the bench, 8 points, 4 rebounds. How big are those two guys going to be in the matchup tomorrow?
How about EJ had 11 rebounds? Wow. He played well. And it's another game that we're going to have to do that. But look, they've got athletes at the 4 position, and that's if I'm calling Jackson a 5, which I don't know if he is, that really are long and active and go after it. They've got their 4 or 5 guards who are, 1, 2s, and 3s, and they got 5 of them. that score. A couple of them drive a little bit better. A couple of them shoot. But they're going to take 25, 26 threes in this game. I don't care what we do. They're going to take them. And if they're spinning in the air and they're going in, it's a tough night. I just don't want us to foul them. And so contest. Now, the one thing that we do have is we're long. So we can contest without fouling because of our length. But, again, they've just, the year – I called this. I knew we'd be playing this team, and my team knew. And, because I told them before, we would be playing Wofford because you and I know how hard this game will be, especially with PJ out, how hard a game it'll be for us. I don't think there's any, we're a favorite. I mean, come on now. I mean, this team is legitimate in every form and fashion, including defense, including toughness, including veteran play. Yesterday we started 4 freshmen. So
next question on the right, please.
John, you said PJ out there. Is that official, and do you have any other update on him?
Yeah, I just can't imagine. What they're going to do at some point is cut the cast off and say, okay, they just felt it would heal faster. I know all this. There's conspiracy. I'm telling you, it was negative in every X-ray, MRI. We even did an RIM. I mean, it's a sprain. But we just, and you guys that know me know that I'm overly cautious because it's these kids' careers, and I get it. And I know this, he really wants to play, but I also want to feel comfortable that if he gets on the court, that there's nothing he can do to himself. And the doctors have pretty much said that. So it's just, okay, when is it healed enough that he can go?
Let's go here in the middle on the right side.
Coach Adam Zagoria, New York Times. Obviously, your biggest priority here is Wofford, but you also put a lot of guys in the NBA, and you've made that a priority. How much can guys like Keldon and Tyler help themselves going forward by playing well in this tournament? And have you ever had a guy really kind of help his stock with a big NCAA tournament?
I've had a bunch of guys do that, but it's not just our guys; it's everybody. These kids are all being evaluated this 3-week period. Believe me when I tell you, it overrides anything that's happened all summer. I can remember the kid. I think it was the kid, he played for Gary Williams at Maryland, and he wasn't thought of as a player that was going pro, and he went on an unbelievable run I'm forgetting his name right now, in the NCAA tournament, and he ends up being a top 10 pick, and he wasn't a guy that was even on the board that they were thinking about. And I just say this to, for all these kids, and that's why I respect these kids, because not only is the tournament there, the national championship there, their own being and their own family and all the stuff that these my guys are 19-year-olds, have to deal with. I tell them all the time, I respect you guys so much. And then you have like social media, and you have the clutter, and you have the lists, and you have all the other stuff, and they got to block all that out and play. And it's not for funsies. It's for real. And so, that's why this tournament is what it is. You just don't know. And you want to say, well, we know that team's, you don't know. This is hard for these kids.
Let's go in the aisle here, and we'll go here next.
Hi, John. John Huang, NOLA Media. You didn't complain quite as much this year when the brackets first came out. And now CBS has given you 2 relatively decent start times. Do you think that the paranoia of the world against John Calipari may have been ratcheted down a little bit this year?
I just say, is it paranoia if you turn around and a guy's chasing you and you can see the knife? I'm not sure that's paranoia. You just run like hell. I've never, that's not true. I'm not worried about it. I think as I get older, I could care less. My give-a meter is just don't care. And we go on and do what we do. And the crazy thing is it's never really had an effect on me, my programs. It just hasn't. And maybe they've figured out, forget about him. We're not hurting him. Let's go hurt somebody else. I don't know. I mean, but pretty dumb question, though, John.
We've got about 5 minutes left. Let's go on the far left, third row. Yes, sir.
Coach Sean Bowdy, Wave 3. Yesterday you were talking about dealing with injuries and especially a short bench. And with a game in such, I guess, quick turnaround like it is now, you mentioned conditioning and how important that is. How much of an advantage do you think that is for your team, especially with a game with such short turnaround?
Anytime you're trying to play 8 guys, it's really dangerous. You know, anything happens, you're down to 7. Another thing happens, you're down to 6. What if the 6 are not the right 6? So it's really dangerous what we're doing, and it could come back to bite us, but guess what? We have no choice. I tried to trade for some guys, and we just couldn't get any bites, so this is who we have. And like today, we went pretty hard and really got them to focus, and I was on some guys because I thought they weren't the energy they needed. They didn't have them, and the reason is you got to fall back on your training. You play to your training. And if you've trained right, you can do that for 40 minutes. And this thing's about playing for 40 minutes, staying focused, staying engaged for 40 minutes of basketball when the other team's trying to do the same thing. And then you may play a team that shoots 25 threes and shoots some of the worst threes, and they go in. That could demoralize you. And then all of a sudden you're looking and they're back cutting and they're coming off dribble handoffs and they're making. It is what it is. I mean, at this time, how can you stay focused on us? And I know how good, Wofford is. I know. I've watched them, and I know their top 4 teams in that league. I hate to tell you, they all 4 should have been in the NCAA tournament when you think about who was in their league. But Coach Young, the job he's done with this team, he's been there 17 years. And to put this together and have this, he's a 7 seed. And to come from outside the Power 5 and be a 7 seed, that's a big deal. It's a big, big deal.
Let's go here in the middle, please. Third from the back.
Coach, just in terms of recruiting, had you ever heard or seen of John Morant on the summer circuit or anything? And when's the first time you kind of became aware of him? Because he obviously kind of snuck through the cracks there.
I hadn't, but I'm not like I was as an assistant where I knew every player, and I don't. I know who we're recruiting. And so, no, I didn't. But, what a run he's having, and how good is that for Murray? And I don't know if you know the story that he committed to Murray, and when everybody figured out how good he was, some other Power 5s tried to jump in there and say, we're offering you a scholarship. And he says, nope, I'm going right to these people. They were there. They've been there from the beginning. And what a great story, and what a great thing for Murray. And, he's a terrific player now. Whew.
We've got time for 2 more. Let's go in the very back standing up.
John, you mentioned a team could take a lot of the worst threes you've ever seen, and they go in and it demoralizes.
If they take 25, there'll be about 4 of those, maybe 5, that you say, wow. And then I hear he practices them. He does. So how bad is it if it's a practice shot? I had Jamal Murray, who used to shoot left-handed falling down. Why would you do that? Because I can make it. And I think this kid's exactly the same way. Why did you take that? Because I thought it was going in. I mean, I don't think he shoots one shot that he didn't think he's making. So is it a bad shot? Maybe you think so, but in his mind, he doesn't. And you know who else doesn't think it's a bad shot? His coach. Where was he when I was playing?
Sorry to interrupt you, Coach. Let's go in the aisle here, please. We'll make this our final question.
John, one of the reasons we love you so much is because of all the
just love me.
The
You all love me.
buzzwords.
Everybody here love me?
All the buzzwords and the catchphrases that you throw out to us during the course of the year. One I've really been intrigued by is the idea of the players conquering themselves. That almost sounds spiritual. Where does that come from, and how do you think the players have done in terms of conquering themselves this year?
Before you can conquer someone else, you got to conquer yourself. And I say it all the time. A lot of it means conditioning. A lot of it means pushing through comfort. A lot of it means don't drink that poison when you're flattered. You're so good. You should be taking more shots. You're better than so-and-so. Why aren't you shooting when he shoots? He's fine when you shoot. You come out if you miss. Do you drink that poison? Because if you drink that poison, you can never conquer yourself because you already have built-in excuses. And so for these kids to conquer themselves, to be in the best physical and mental condition in their lives, to master their craft. Are you in the gym? Are you mastering your craft? Well, I should be able to miss 5 straight shots. No, you shouldn't, especially if they're open. They just talked about Villanova making 7 of 8 uncontested shots. That's why they won. They were uncontested. Well, when we're uncontested, we think we should be able to, well, I don't have to make every one. Well, how about making almost all of the uncontested ones and miss some others? All that conquering you, knowing that you're responsible for yourself, knowing you own your performance. You own that. That's conquering yourself. And if you can't conquer yourself, you're not conquering anybody else. And we, as a young team all the time, you got to be able to understand you're not in great shape. You're not focused right now. You're not engaged right now because it's really hard to be that guy. But that's where you conquer yourself. So, yes, there's a lot of stuff that we have to give these kids to think about because it's moves pretty fast around here.
Coach, thank you very much. Good luck to you. Thanks, sir. Next on the schedule, 3:55. Wofford players coming in. That's about 9 minutes from right now. 4:15, the scheduled time for Wofford head coach Mike Young. 3:55 for the Wofford players, 9 minutes away. Stand by for the Wofford players, about 3 or 4 minutes away. Thanks. right, the gentlemen from Wofford are here. Fletcher, Cameron, and Matthew, if you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We've got 10, 15 minutes with these guys. Coach Young coming up at 4:15 on the schedule. If you have a question, we'll start here on the left side in the front.
All right, guys, how you doing? I'm on Light TV 20 News. I got a question. This could be for any three of you. Being that you guys are a small school like Wofford, what mentality are you guys adapting, taking on a powerhouse like Kentucky heading into this matchup?
I would say our non-conference kind of prepared us for that. Every year we play a pretty hard non-conference. We play against a lot of big schools. Go into it like any other game, get the game plan from the coaches, go out, play as hard as we can, see what happens.
Question, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone your way. Next question for the guys here on the third row on the right, please.
For Fletcher or Cameron, since Matthew's already had to take one. Just could you, for people who don't know Wofford, where it is, what kind of school it is, I guess we can look on Wikipedia and see it's not exactly a huge enrollment. I don't know, probably the smallest, maybe the smallest school in the tournament. But what to a national audience would you say about Wofford? And is this kind of matchup intriguing to you guys? I mean, obviously Kentucky's kind of on this whole different level, you know, as a elite of college basketball, and and just getting a chance to go against them.
I mean, Wofford College is a special place. It's a small, tight-knit community where you know everybody. We have professors here that are greeting us after the games in the hotel. That just shows the type of place that we go to school at. And as far as it being us playing a powerhouse school like Kentucky, we are excited about doing that. I mean, it doesn't get much better than playing teams like Kentucky. You dream of that as a kid, being on that team, being on a smaller school, playing against that team. So all of this is just a dream come true.
Let's go in the aisle, please, right here.
Yeah, kind of following that up for any or all three of you. Before you were recruited by Wofford, how many of you did not know where Wofford was? And then also, when you tell people you play for Wofford, do you still have to tell them where it is? All three of you, preferably.
Yeah, I did not know exactly where Wofford was until I went up and visited it. But like Cam said, it actually is a great place. It's like one of the best kept secrets. You don't really know what it is, but when you get there, it's awesome.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it either. I'm from Virginia and didn't really know much about schools in South Carolina, especially not the smaller schools in South Carolina. But it's become home for me. So.
I'm the oddball out. I grew up in South Carolina, and I had a lot of connections to Wofford, so I knew all about it my whole career. So that was actually an offer I was really excited to get, and worked out well.
Let's go in the middle in the back. We'll get to you next, Gene.
Hey guys, Adam Zagoria, New York Times, for Fletcher and all you guys. Do you ever think, like, you're playing against this Kentucky team with all these NBA prospects and stuff, that if you play well or beat them, that you could help yourself in the eyes of NBA scouts and stuff like that?
I think that's something that you try to block out and ignore as much as you can. Getting the chance to go against great competition is always a great chance for you to prove yourself. But to think about you don't want to get out of character and try to do things that you can't do, or do things that you're uncomfortable doing, just to try to show that you can do something. We want to stay within ourselves, play our game, and we feel that if we do that, we can be right there and we can compete with them.
On the right side right here, and you next,
sir. Gene Fournette from the Times-Union over here in your right. Fletcher, how much do you really pay attention to the economy of your shooting, meaning that taking, even though some people might perceive some of the shots you take as just really low percentage shots, but you do work on them, how much do you pay attention to the fact that you're scoring well above 1 point for every shot and free throw you've attempted in your career? And as a follow-up, does it really bother you that much that your younger brother is taller than you?
To the first part of the question, absolutely. He's only 14, and he's probably 2 inches taller than me, so I wish I had those 2 inches on me. But to the second part, it's something that I've gotten used to, just as far as a lot of people thinking that it's a bad shot or an inefficient shot. But when like you said, like when you look at the points per possession or percentages and get into the numbers and analytics, you can see that I make them at an efficient enough rate for it to be a good shot for our team. So I think that when you look at it that way, that it all works out and it's not a bad shot.
As a follow-up, you were probably, I don't know, 14, 13 years old when Jimmer Fredette of BYU was really lighting it up nationally. Did you pay much attention to his game? And is there any approach from you that even resembles anything of what he did?
I actually didn't pay attention too much to him. I do remember when they played Florida in the NCAA tournament, just growing up in Florida, I was watching that. And I remember he had a great game against them and pulled up from deep probably 3 or 4 times and made it on them. So I knew that, he was a great player and a great shooter. Just him being out west and at BYU, I didn't really get the chance to, watch a lot of his games and that kind of stuff, though.
Hold on, let's get a
really?
mic, Gene.
I know that.
You good, Gene? All right, let's go here on the aisle, third row, and then we'll get to you next.
Jerry Tipton, Lexington Herald Leader. How would you guys describe the style of offense you guys play? How much of a green light you have? How much dependence on three-point shooting?
I think that we're actually a very balanced offense. Cam, Matt, Keve, a lot of our bigs are really good back to the basket post scores. So, a lot of people like to talk about all the threes that we shoot and stuff, but, if it wasn't for, them drawing in the defense, a lot of times we wouldn't be open for those threes. So, playing inside out can definitely open it up. I think that we're pretty balanced, because we can, shoot the ball really well, but we can also, pound it inside with our bigs and have them go to work. So I feel like, it's a good balance between that.
Got about 5 minutes left. Let's go in the second row on the left.
Right here. This was for Fletcher. Amon Lott, FAMU TV 20 News. You broke the record last night. I got 2 quick questions, but you broke the record. How big was that moment for you and for your career, for everything that you've done? And the second question is, you take a high degree of difficulty of shots, and how's your practice regimen with those?
So the first question, I think I've said this before. I think, when I look back on it, when I'm older, I'll definitely, think about this game and how special and everything it was. But, in the moment, just, trying to do whatever you can to win, and to think about, winning an NCAA tournament game. That was just the main goal, and that was what was on my mind. But to the second part, I think that, the practice regimen, I think that you try to practice shots that you're going to shoot in games. So, if I know that I'm going to shoot an off-balance shot going this way or off-balance shot going that way, I'm going to practice, those type of shots so I can get a feel for it. And I feel like that's kind of what's enabled me to shoot those kind of shots.
Got a few minutes left. Any questions? Let's go third row on the right, please. And we'll get to you next, sir.
Aaron Gersh on ASEA Blue. Fletcher already talked about the play on the big, so I want to ask Cameron and Matthew. Kentucky feels pretty good about their size advantage. How do you guys kind of prove that they're wrong to think that way tomorrow?
I think we just take care of what we can take care of. It's not really about proving them wrong. It's about doing what we're comfortable doing and making the impact on the game that we can, the way that we impact the game on a daily basis, getting the ball to the shooters, rebounding. But it's not really about proving them wrong. It's about taking care of what we can take care of.
I think you said it best right there. Any other questions for the guys for Wofford here? Anybody else? Back left. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Cameron, can you talk about what athletics trainer Elise Hart does on a daily basis to get you ready to go, what she means to you, and is she right when she says you're kind of high maintenance?
Me personally or the team? Okay, I don't think that I'm necessarily high maintenance. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch. But no, Elise is the best. She's taken care of me throughout my 5 years. I've had a few injuries where I've needed her to just really take care of me and tell me what I need to do. And she's always very upfront with me about what's wrong. She tells me if I'm being soft. She tells me, like, she keeps it really straight with me. So I'm able to know what I can and can't do. She doesn't sugarcoat anything, and she just tries to just get me ready. She's meant the world to me over
the past 5 years. I've grown close to her through the experience.
You guys had a look on the high maintenance part there. Any comment on that? No? Okay. Any other questions? Right here, Gene. We'll get the last one right here.
This is for Cameron. Just curious, Fletcher has taken a certain amount of grief from his family about his haircut. And I'm just wondering if you guys have needled him about not having sort of like a defined hairstyle. Like it's like a little bit short of crew cut, but not really a crew cut, and then a little bit longer, but not, it doesn't seem to be defined. I'm just wondering if you guys needle him about that at all.
Nah, not really. We just let him do his thing. His hair doesn't really matter when the ball goes in, so I don't care how he cuts it. He could be bald tomorrow, and I'd still be happy as long as he's hitting shots.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Good luck to you. Gentleman from Wofford. Coach Mike Young. He thinks his hair looks great, by the way, for the record. Mike Young, Wofford head coach at 4:15, so about 6 minutes or so from right now. Thank you.